Good morning, rather good afternoon. It's been a while since I ranted, but this one was prompted by a social media skit that was done by a couple who are comedians. And basically, the man seemed like he was cheating because he lied about where he spent the night. He gave five different places where he spent the night, and the wife found out that he didn't spend the night in the places that he said he did. Rather, he was in one place. So obviously, what he did was to cover himself, cover his backside in case his wife called any of his friends so that they could cover up for him. And she knew, of course, it was very obvious. And then the next day, they did another skit. And this one was when he was praising the woman, saying, I really praise you because I know that you're genuinely wanting to be married, and that there are some women who, are not committed to marriage. But I was very proud of her because whatever he did, she still stayed where she was and didn't keep too much of a fuss. And then she responded saying, the reason why you're doing these things, is it because you think that I will one day pack my things and leave because of what you're doing? Well, let me tell you, I am not leaving. She said in Igbo, Egwilem wo Egwilem, which means I'm here for good. And so I left a comment and I said that this is really giving him a free ticket to do whatever he wanted. Because if you're telling him that you will never leave, what you're telling him is that he can do whatever he wanted and that you will still be here. Which I felt, like I expressed, that it was wrong. I mean, in the light of what's going on nowadays, everybody talks about marriage and how important it is to be married. And here you are doing all these things and trying to justify it by saying that, you're a good woman, and the woman is then giving you a free ticket. I made a comment and said that, you shouldn't be doing this. You should be discouraging these activities because they cause problems. Anyway, the man responded and he said, my dear, this guy had no idea that I was probably old enough to be his mom. And he said, my dear, the raw truth is that women are created to be wives, or that God created women to help men. And that's the raw truth, and that there is no joy in being single. In effect, women are created to be married. And I just could not believe that human beings in this day and age are still thinking like that. I responded and I said, if that's your opinion, I want you to understand that that's your opinion. In the real sense, that's not true. The Bible did not say that. There were so many women in the Bible who were single, who were notable women who did great things. Lydia, Rahab, these are women in the Bible. Even Mary Magdalene was single. There's no record of her being married. And these were women who were single. And as a matter of fact, Mary, the mother of Jesus, was not married at the time she was chosen to bear Jesus. And so that was wrong. That was one example. That was one point. The other point is that this is the reason why we have so many problems, especially in Nigeria, where women are seen as irrelevant if they're not married. And so men feel that, they're the price, because every woman should be married. And if you're single, there's a stigma attached to singlehood in Nigeria. And if you're a single mom, basically you're the bottom of the barrel. And this is exactly the reason why people find themselves in difficulties. If you're a woman and you're not married and you believe in these ideologies, or you live in places where these ideas are embraced, then the pressure is on you that, you need to be married. And of course, any idiot that comes your way, you would go and get married to them because of the fact that you want to avoid a stigma or the label of being single or being a single mom. And some of these things are really bad. I really respect many men who discourage these activities. Infidelity is very dangerous, it's very expensive, it's very dirty, and it's ungodly. That is a fact. As a matter, I also stated in that comment that adultery is one reason the Bible gives for divorce. And if you feel that, I'm sorry, I'm sweating, and if you feel that, that the fact that you're a man, that it's okay for you to be unfaithful, and that is allowed, then you're part of the problem. Infidelity is expensive because, there's so many women out there who are smart, who will trap you with their pregnancy. And before you know it, what you thought was fun will end up with you having two families. If you don't know what it means to have two families, or to be in charge of two families, or be the provider for two families, I will encourage you to go and find out from people who are in those positions or situations. You're also susceptible to catching all kinds of diseases. I know people say, oh, not necessarily. Yes, yeah, maybe not. Remember, protections are all maybe 98% protective, and nothing is 100% protective. So that's another issue. And just being dirty and just, going along with women who you don't know. I don't even know how people do it. Maybe I will never know because I'm a woman, but this is what people do. And I think that if you have a platform like he did and you're young, I think these are the people who need to promote marriage, who need to promote the ideal things to do so that our institutions could stay intact. But when you have people like this who believe that a woman is nothing without being married, or that, a woman who tolerates their husband's misbehaviors is a good woman, it's ridiculous. The young people should discourage these things because these are causing problems in our society, or in our societies where you have children who are born out of wedlock. We have people who you don't even realize that they have other families until the very last minute. And yes, you might think, okay, I'm here to stay. But guess what? If one day some woman shows up with children from your husband, you better stay where you are. And if you're a man and you didn't realize, and some young person shows up and says, you're my father, then don't run away, stay where you are. These are the complications that come out of being unfaithful, that people overlook because you're thinking about the instant gratification that you're getting in that time. So that was my interaction with this guy. And I really don't follow people. When I follow people or subscribe to people, I usually have a good reason. And I never really followed them because I didn't think they were very funny. Sometimes I watch them, just to see what's going on. They're not the funniest couple. And I then stopped. I have not watched any of the skits since then because I just feel that even if what you're doing is funny, if you exhibit one attitude that I feel I don't agree with, then I will probably stop watching you. I will completely unsubscribe. I mean, I have followed people or subscribed to people and they made a comment. And for me, that one comment may not have been anything, but for me, it was serious enough for me to either unsubscribe or unfollow people. So that's my rant, and my rant is that people who have platforms should promote positivity in our institutions. Marriage, you can't, some people say all kinds of idiotic statements. A man is not supposed to marry one woman. Well, okay, but don't forget the consequences. When you begin to receive the repercussions of feeling that you can have several women, then, just stay where you are. It is expensive, it's ungodly, and it's dirty. That is a fact. So promote the right stuff and stop being macho on your platform because you think that that's the right thing to do. Very soon when you get older, you will look back and you will be very sad. You have daughters, you have sons. Teach them the best things. Until my next rant, you take care. Goodbye.